Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm streaming from. This is where I'm at every weekend, 9 p.m. Eastern. And hopefully this video will start to answer the questions. What the hell is it? How much did it cost? Which I don't really want to talk about, but it will probably end up in the description or title. But yeah, this is my rig. And what's even more crazy, when I have friends or people come over, I'm actually streaming from a GoPro from that room into here. We can sit here on these comfortable chairs and watch exactly what's happening in that room. But with that said, listen, let's get this going and let's start the tour. All right, here we go. Boys, I also have a full flight rig. That's right, all the instruments with a Garmin GPS. So, I am the Simsima. I don't know if you guys have seen my streams. I have this massive trucking and racing setup that I hopefully like to share with everybody. And one of the biggest questions is how much? How much did this cost? How did you build it? What is it made of? So I'm gonna try to take you on a quick, unadulterated tour, I like to call it, because the last time I've done this, I tried to film everything. And I think it took me almost 2-3 weeks to finish a proper movie video. So you know what, listen, we're in the age of pull your phone out and take a video. That's exactly how I'm gonna do this. If it comes out, it comes out. If it looks a little messy in here, I apologize. But yeah, let's shoot from the hip, as they say, and let's get going. Before we get going, I wanna show you something really cool. So yeah, this is in its own room right here. As we pan around, you can see this is its own self-contained room. All the way around. Let's turn another light on. And yeah, we are in the basement. These are the stairs upstairs, and there's a little cubby down there for my dog. We'll come back to that in a little bit. Yeah, this is a room. It's about, I want to say 7 feet this way and about 9 feet this way. So what is it? It's a simulator room, but hold on, check this out, check this out, check this out. It's got a self-contained door. We're in the basement. Sorry, it's gonna get a little grainy on the video, but check this out. In my basement, I am actually projecting from that room using a projector, which is up here. Using this projector, I am able to project whatever happens in that room here. So that's a live feed from my sim rig. And as I said, it's in its own room. Behind that door, everything is sound insulated. The door is sound insulated as much as I can. It's as best as I could. All right, so let's get back to it. Here it is, here's the sim rig. Let's start from the beginning. What are you guys really looking at? So on the stream, you see this, it just looks like I'm in a real cab, right? The truth is, you're looking at 3 LG OLED TVs. Here they are. These are LG C4 OLED 55-inch TVs. They're sitting on this little gantry that I built, and whoa, easy camera, easy. So they're sitting on this gantry that I built right here. That's triangulated, or more like a trapezoid, right? And it's a bit busy in this room, but we'll try to show you how I built it. So it's made up of these pieces of aluminum. There's verticals, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the other end. You can see one right there. That's what's holding up this little table that I built. And here's the horizontal portions that are screwed together with brackets. On top of it, I got these shelves from Home Depot. I drilled into them and screwed them straight to that aluminum piece of metal. So that's how the TVs are sitting. They're linked together with a string. Believe it or not, there's a string back here with a little bracket that I 3D printed that's really pulling this as tight as they can together, because these TVs are so massive, they tend to splay away from one another. So that string comes all the way to the other side and it ends right here. It's actually pulling these together, and I do have some massive pieces of tape on the back of the TV that's actually gluing them or pulling them together, if I may. I hope that makes sense, because otherwise these TVs would splay apart. They're not connected on any sort of gantry on the back. They're free floating, as you can see back here. All right, so let's keep going. So what else is happening in here? There is a massive PC from Dell right there, and there's another massive PC that was custom built that's sitting right here. This is a 3080. That PC right there is used for my streaming. And this PC right here is a 4090. This is used for my gaming. So I try to separate my gaming from my streaming because we know these things are super intensive for processing and for video. So I have a lot of cameras, a lot of gear, and the games that I run them at 4K. I do try to separate my gaming from my streaming. So that's what's going on there. Now, in terms of processing, yes, we have to process the game, and that's one big problem, right? At triple 4K ultra settings, and then we have to process these cameras, camera 1, camera 2, and then camera 3. So let's go through these. These are these are Razer Kiyo Ultra and Ultra Pro. These have the same type of sensors that are found in DSLR cameras. These are amazing cameras. So one of them is better than the other one. One is truly 4K. This one is a 1080. The one that's attached to my rig with this massive pole right here is a GoPro 12, and it's always plugged in to charge, and of course it has the video feed that goes to my streaming PC. Now, I like to change things up a lot, so sometimes you will see me streaming from a different view, and that is wired up here. Here's the cable, as best as I could, managed all the way around. We'll come back to this in a moment. And coming back around, as you can see, all my cables, I'm trying to do good cable management, but it's not really working. All the way back to my streaming PC, and so is the microphone. I have one microphone which you guys hear me on, and then I have another microphone which I use for the guys in the convoy to hear me out. Now, I want to come back to this for a moment. Why do I have my own AC unit in here? It is actually vented into a bathroom, which is on the other side of this wall. There's a bathroom in the basement, and I'm venting all this hot air. So I'm cooling this room and venting it in there. Why is that? These TVs are so hot when they get going, and those PCs are always constantly blowing hot air that it's literally almost impossible to live in here. It can get up to, I want to say 92 degrees Fahrenheit in here. But check this out, boys, check this out. I wired up a temperature and humidity sensor that has a probe at the back of the PC. And when it goes over 75 degrees Fahrenheit, it kicks on a fan. And I'm going to try to take you back down there. There it is in the wall. Those two, sorry, it's a bit dusty. Those two fans are pulling all the heat that they can from this room back into the theater room, which is where we are. So all of that heat, but let's reset the camera. All that heat comes out right there, boys. Yeah, so that vent, I literally dug that vent into the wall. If you look through it, we are on the other side of that gaming PC right there. All right, so let's keep going at this point. All right, so you're here to learn about the rig, but I cover the TVs, I cover the cameras, the microphone, the wiring, and all that. But I'm sure you want to hear about the sim rig. So here's the sim rig. This is a sim rig from a company called Rig Metal. There's a lot of options out there that you can buy, but mine is from Rig Metal. It's an independent manufacturer. He cuts all of these to length, and you can screw them together. You can see everything is screwed together, and you can create this little gantry that I sit inside of. But now I'm going to try to explain something to you guys. So this is not permanent. What I mean by that is I do have my trucking set up with my Moza wheel, my Moza turn signals, and my Moza R9 V3 wheelbase right under here, hooked up to this bracket. Now, please pay attention. What's really interesting is the wheel, this dashboard, the wheelbase, and the bracket are attached only to this. They're all screwed to this, and you can tell that because, yeah, exactly, right. So why is it doing that? Well, of course that can be done tighter and tighter, and I can tighten that up, but it works for me. So the reason is it's like that because it's removable. This piece right here is permanent, and so is this and this. It's almost like two fingers holding this piece right here. Why is that? Because as soon as I loosen up these two bolts right there and there, this whole device comes out. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a FANATEC setup that I can slide right in, same exact way. I use those 2 bolts, we bolt it back down, and everything is good to go. Now, I'm gonna take a pause and show you something. Not only do I do trucking and I do the racing with this setup right here, but I also do something else. Check this out. Boys, I also have a full flight rig. That's right, all the instruments with a Garmin GPS. All of this fits exactly there. And how does it do that? Sorry about the mess again, lots of screws and such, but same exact thing. Oh, there's an extra camera. Anybody need a camera? Doritos, anybody? All right, let's keep going. So yeah, as you can see here, another piece of aluminum extrusion. All of it fits right back into the rig. But the rig itself, of course, you need the driving gear, and then you need accessories. So we have a shifter over there by Moza. It's a HGP shifter. It's modified a little bit, and I'll talk about it in a second. I have a button box, and of course my stream deck right there, which helps me kind of, you know, switch cameras around, make sure everything is going well on the stream. And of course we can't forget about the hello lady, hello. Alrighty, but I do build my own stuff. I built the button box, which I do not sell. A lot of people ask me about it. It's got a screen inside of it that displays things. It's got all these buttons that work. I do build my own dashboard. This was a world first exclusive. No one had built this until I came out with it. I'm sorry for bragging about it, but I'm super, super proud of what I've done here. This is to duplicate a real life dashboard. So there it is. We'll get going in a moment and I'll show you all about it. But as I said, the shifter is modified because if you guys know about these shifters, they have an 8-gate pattern, right? 7 plus reverse, that's 8. But when you're shifting, you always find yourself mis-shifting into gear. So I blocked them off, and for educational purposes, I put the Eaton Fuller pattern in there. So those are all the pieces that make this thing work. The steering wheel with the dashboard attached to it, the button box, my stream deck, and of course my mouse and my shifter. To make this easier to work on, modular, and able to take, this thing has to come out of here because we have to clean sometimes through here. We have to modify, have to add all sorts of different pieces. This thing is connected to my PCs with one USB right there and another USB down here. I don't know which one it is. Trust me, there's only one. At this point, it's getting a little hairy, as they say. But the whole thing, and it's difficult to show you this, the whole thing is plugged into the wall right there with only one plug. And yes, since we're down here, let's talk about this. What is happening here? We have FANATEC V3 pedals, and behind it you see 1 and 2. Those are bass shakers. That's 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5 underneath and hooked up. You can see the red wire. There's a bass shaker hooked up to this seat, so I can feel every gear shift, every vibration from the motor can come through right through that seat, and these correspond to ABS and traction control on every single wheel. So that's what makes up some of the haptic feedback. But speaking of feedback, these are pistons for a motion simulator. That's right, these are eMotion Lab Mega RS pistons. They move 150 millimeters. There's one here, one here. Of course, there's one at every corner, as you can see there. And finally, there's one here. Now, these are massive, and when they get going, man, this is a lot of fun. So let's show you something real quick. So the rig actually rises up, and I always find that pretty cool. That's like my introduction. It says the game is about to start. I love it. So I'm sure I'm missing a lot of things. So please, if you're curious about something I didn't mention, please feel free to ask me in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer. Pretty realistic. It feels pretty immersive in here, so it's probably getting a little bit louder now. So we have to move on to another thing, which is sound. In this room, this whole room is has sound deadening in it. And I'm using a lot of these felt panels on the wall to make sure that the sound is trapped in here. You don't want it sounding hollow when you stream. Again, I hope that you guys can hear me. I'm trying to yell over the loud gaming sounds right now. But we do have a 5.1 surround wired in the wall. There's one there, there's another there, another there, and of course the back speakers here. Now, of course, you know, I have a FANATEC and a Moza, so I have to display my wheels somewhere. So of course I stream and I play here, and I want to feel comfortable. I want to like my room. So I tried to organize things beautifully, and I also built these shelves and displayed some of my favorite cars and things like that. I mean, it has to be somewhat appealing. I do get friends that come here. I share this with people, so I want to make sure that they see something that's not crazy and disgusting. So again, we could do better. We can clean up a bit more, but this is where we are. So I'm trying to think, did I miss anything else? I don't know. I guess maybe just give you guys the whole big far away view of the room. And I think I should start the video for you guys, which you'll see this at the end or at the beginning. I'm not really sure, but everything works, as I said. Check this out. You see that? Everything works. We're able to switch from our wheel through the gauges. We have so many gauges that are available. Again, this is on my website, thesimsima.com. And yeah, power's on. Let's go, boys. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to film and drive at the same time. Shifter is in gear. Grab the wheel. Let's go, boys. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. There you go. So yeah, for me it's pretty immersive, and I guess that's the purpose of this whole build, is like, what does it look like for me? And then hopefully it looks just as good for you guys. But yeah, this is where I'm sitting. This is what I see.